it's very, very clear that we have a problem, and the problem is getting worse. I'm sure the parties themselves will admit that we are getting to a stage where it is completely degrading the foundations of our democracy. I mean, you can start with the parties themselves. The more the parties become transactional in their activity, money becomes a big player. So basically, it's really who can pay more. Yes, of course, people can pay and still lose elections. But the point is that anybody who is going into the election is calculating that the other person might use money, and that then generates its own incentives for parties wherever they have to get the money in order to go and compete, so that they stand a chance of winning. Now, when you taint a political process which is supposed to birth a government right from that foundation, then the whole governance value chain becomes tainted, because wherever they are getting the money and putting it in elections, somebody is going to try and recover that money when they are in government. And when you have that kind of mindset, you can't really push any serious policy agenda. There's always going to be a conflict of interest every time you try to carry out the business of governance. And this is what we have been experiencing for many, many years. The parties themselves have also become captured. And once you do that, then even the democracy that you want to build right from the party stage becomes a problem, because candidates are using money to influence whether they get selected and so on and so forth. And many people feel disenchanted if they cannot mobilize money to stand for elections. So we are threatening the very foundation of multi-party democracy. And if we don't find an antidote to this problem, I think for me, it is going to get worse and really threatens the democracy that, for at least under the Fourth Republic, has been the longest surviving process, the political process for us, something that we should be proud of compared to what has happened in other parts of the continent. So I am actually happy that we are not just looking at the buyers of votes, we are now also looking at the sellers of votes, because I think that a lot of the lip service is enough. Citizens also have to understand that if they want to create a demand, then they also suffer the consequences, because that is also illegal, because it's really the market that we are trying to close down. So whoever is buying and selling at the market should suffer the same consequences.
I mean, Daniel Demalevo.